Can't see anything, Fox.
How can I help you? Hello?
Hello.
How can I help you? Start your video.
I'm here to for Damari Brown.
I'm here for you to start your video.
Okay, hon. I got you.
How can I help you?
I'm here for Damari Brown.
What do you mean you're here for him? Or are you in my virtual courtrooms are for the litigants? And if you're going to log into a virtual courtroom, you don't want to be laying down. How would you like it if I was laying down right now?
Bitch.
Excuse me? That's what on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Damari Brown, file number 24-00126. Council appearance.
Assistant Prosecutor Paige Petrowski on behalf of the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant Damari Brown, who is present standing to my right.
Okay, how are you, Mr. Brown?
Good, how about you?
I'm doing all right. I think I had a brief encounter with someone in your family, though. That was a bit unfortunate. If you speak to them, tell them don't log into the virtual courtroom, okay?
Okay.
Okay, nonetheless, today was the date set for you to have a preliminary examination on one count of home invasion third. I also have a new file that I need to arraign you on. How are we proceeding on the home invasion third?
Your Honor, at this time, it's my understanding that the prosecutor is ready with their necessary witnesses. Mr. Brown would be waiving unconditionally his right to the full exam and having this found over the circuit court.
That's correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you understand your right to have a preliminary examination in the district court?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that the burden is on the prosecutor at the time of the exam to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and improbable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You wish to unconditionally waive your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No, ma'am.
Any promises being made to you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. You understand the waiver is unconditional. It's not based on any promises or conditions, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You also can't change your mind. If the case is bound over, you don't get that preliminary examination right anymore, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your bind over date's gonna be February 14th. okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You do not need to appear in court on that date unless your attorney is making a motion to have you rearranged in circuit court for some reason, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is gonna be a pre-trial in circuit court. Ms. Donnelly will be made aware of that date, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you are at the address of 1526 High Street,
1562.
1562, okay. High Street, Lansing. Phone number that you gave was 517-402-4957.
Yes.
Is that your number?
Yes, ma'am. No, it's my mom's, but
Okay,
contact.
got it. And there is a hold currently still, Ms. Donnelly?
Yes, he's on parole right now, so there isn't a hold with his parole agent.
Okay. Bond was set at 1,000, a cash surety with GPS tether and a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And you're not to enter the address of 624 Shepherd Street. Do you have any questions about your bond?
No, ma'am.
I'm gonna ask if we could address that. He hasn't been able to post it. Like I said, there is a GPS tether ordered and a curfew. Given the fact that he's sitting basically on dead time, we were just requesting if the court would consider a personal cognizance so we can take care of MDC.
Okay. Let me address this other file. People of the state of Michigan versus Damari Brown, file number 24-00245. Counsel, I'll take your appearance on this one.
Assistant Prosecutor Paige Petrosky on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant for the purpose of arraignment only until he is found indigent by my boss, who is standing next to me on my right.
Thank you. Okay, I have a felony complaint in this file that you need to be arraigned on. It alleges that on or about December 15th, 2023, at the area of 1562 North High Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act of interfering with an electronic communications. It alleges that you did willfully and maliciously prevent, obstruct, or delay by any means the sending, conveyance, or delivery of an authorized communication by or through a telephone or telephone line, and this was contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.5405A. That's a felony with the maximum penalty being 2 years and or $1,000 in fines. There's a count 2 of domestic violence. It alleges that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon a Victoria Johnson, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Restitution may be ordered upon conviction, as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. Count 2 is a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty attached in both counts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Donnelly is representing you today just for the purposes of your arraignment. You do have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution. And if you're questioned by law enforcement, you have the right to be represented by counsel during that questioning. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make an application to have the public defender's office appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. I'm going to note here that you are requesting court-appointed counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed all the way to a jury trial. And you have the right to jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. So as you stand here today, you're innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to require the prosecutor prove your guilt by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt, and they will prove that at the time of your trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to confront your accusers in court and cross-examine any of the witnesses called against you at your trial. You have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to your trial to testify on your behalf. And you have the right to submit evidence to the court to support any defenses you believe you have to the alleged charges. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
For the purposes of your arraignment, will enter a plea of not guilty. You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference. It's gonna be on February 8th, 2024 at 9:30 in the morning. You have a preliminary examination, February 4th, I'm sorry, 15th, 2024 at 9:30. Both of those are before me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the alleged victim does not reside at this address. That's 1562 High Street, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
She does not reside there.
No.
Okay. Oh. Did you want to address the bond motion? Mr. Petrowski?
The people leave the court's discretion.
Okay, the bond was set at 1,000 cash surety with GPS tether and a curfew. Let's see what it is. Either a bond report or the defendant's criminal history. Are you currently, other than this home invasion third, do you have anything else pending in court?
No, ma'am.
When's the last time you missed court?
I haven't never.
Okay, I'll amend the bond on the home invasion to 1,000 personal recognizance with GPS tether and the curfew. Okay, you have a criminal history here. I don't see any other adults. Okay, bond will be amended to 1,000 of personal recognizance on that matter. Again, still with GPS tether, there's a curfew from 9 PM to 6 AM. So that means you need to be inside of 1562 High Street during that time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're not to enter the address of 624 Shepherd Street. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
On file number 24-00245. I'm going to enter a no contact order with Victoria Johnson. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Victoria Johnson. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so indirect means you can't have anybody else send any messages on your behalf either. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever she is. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll grant bond on that 1,000 personal recognizance, again with GPS tether. I'm going to also apply a curfew in this one as well. Are you employed?
No, ma'am. I was working at a temp service before I got locked up, but not no more.
Okay. While out on bond, and this applies in both files, you're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release from custody, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can get that information as to how you would contact them from the jail, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, there's a no contact order in place for the protection of Victoria Johnson. You need to appear for all of your next court dates, and your next court date is before me, February 8th, 2024 at 9:30 in the morning, okay? Do
Yes, ma'am.
you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for defense. Thank you.
Okay, you're all set, sir.
Yeah.